pictures from 1944 of what happened to George Soros's friends and neighbors.
You're a Hungarian Jew who escaped the Holocaust by posing as a Christian.
Right.
And you watched lots of people get shipped off to the death camps.
Right. I was 14 years old, and I would say that that's when my character was made.
In what way?
That one should think ahead, one should understand and anticipate events, and one is threatened. It was a tremendous threat of evil. I mean, it was a very personal experience of evil.
My understanding is that you went out with this protector of yours who swore that you were his adopted godson.
Yes, yes.
Went out, in fact, and helped in the confiscation of property from the Jews.
That's right, yes.
I mean, that sounds like an experience that would send lots of people to the psychiatric couch for many, many years. Was it difficult?
Not at all. Not at all. Maybe as a child you don't see the connection, but it created no problem at all.
No feeling of guilt?
No.
For example, that I'm Jewish, and here I am watching these people go. I could just as easily be there. I should be there. None of that.
I could be on the other side, or I could be the one from whom the thing is being taken away. But there was no sense that I shouldn't be there, because that was... well, actually, funny way, it's just like in markets, that if I weren't there, of course I wasn't doing it, but somebody else would be taking it away anyhow.
Earlier this month, another email leak took place. Correspondence of Open Society Foundation belonging to billionaire George Soros was hacked by a group, DC Leaks. However, despite revelations providing insight into how groups run by Soros intervened into political life of other countries, this did not make nationwide news in the mainstream media, leaving a lot of questions whether media silence has something to do with the investors' position within the establishment. Alexei Yaroshovsky with the details tonight.
These days, when you hear two words, emails and leaks, you'd most likely immediately think of Hillary Clinton and her email gate. But the Democratic presidential candidate is not the only one whose correspondence got exposed. You would not know from mainstream news reports, however, that emails belonging to billionaire investor George Soros' Open Society Foundation were also hacked recently. Just as you would not know that those emails clearly suggest Soros has given more than $30 million to Hillary Clinton's campaign, effectively making him her largest single donor. You might think this is not exactly breaking news. Soros' massive funding of far-left groups in the United States and the rest of the world has been well documented for decades. No corner of the globe is unaffected, no policy area untouched.
We are trying to make the world a better place, but that's not necessarily what we accomplish.
Democrats tell us money is the root of all evil in politics, and for once, they might actually be right. So is it money that motivates politicians? And if so, what's behind that money, and who is the person that pays for it? For liberals, that man is George Soros, and these are leaked memos from the desk of the billionaire progressive. They tell us what's behind that money, and let me just say, it should scare us. Let's take a look at the secrets behind his money. Soros, secret number one. George Soros wants the refugee crisis in Europe to be painted as the new normal. He says the crisis is the perfect tool to influence immigration policies on the global level. Remember, George Soros is a radical here. He's no moderate. He doesn't believe in nations. He doesn't believe in borders. Soros' secret number 2, he paid to influence the justices of the Supreme Court of the United States. It's basically legal bribery here. Soros' secret number 3, Soros gave $650,000, that's almost $1 million, to the Black Lives Matter movement to fuel the unrest that followed the death of Freddie Gray. He did this to, and I quote here, he did this to accelerate the dismantling of structural inequality generated and maintained by local law enforcement. Sounds insane, does it not? And his staff lied about it too. They denied ever sending money to the protesters, even though they did. And that brings us to Soros' secret number 4 and 5. Soros funds anti-Semitic groups that call Israel racist, all the while paying for smear campaigns against conservative activists here at home.
So, who's funding Black Lives Matter? One of the big donors seems to be George Soros, our old pal, who gives big money to affiliates of Black Lives Matter, groups that do direct business with them. Also giving money directly to the group, entertainers Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Well, Black Lives Matter is seeing green. The activist group now cashing in on tens of millions of dollars from liberal foundations and donors, despite inciting violence with chants like this.
Brown like bacon, pigs in a blanket. Brown like bacon, pigs in a blanket.
That's right, a chant calling for the murder of police officers. Well, the Black-led Movement Fund is a donor campaign aimed at raising $100 million for the group. That's in addition to more than $33 million in grants from top Clinton donor George Soros, whose aim is to destabilize this country.